All right. Okay, cool.
All right.
Hey guys, this is Roxy with Meet Roxy Jordat, and I am so stoked today because I have like one of the top entrepreneurs, online marketers ever in the universe. I think Cory Reynolds is with me today. Hey Cory, thank you for joining me.
Hey, Roxy, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? You're sitting in your car. You just got done taking your daughter to a school function, and you actually made time for me today to have like a little coffee chat and just talk with you about your career, about where we're at right now in Lifestyle Design International. And I just sincerely want to thank you for that because I know that your time is valuable, and I appreciate you taking the time for this today.
Awesome, for sure.
Okay, so Cory, describe to me a little bit about who you are as a person. Just give us some description of who you are as a person and who you are as a marketer online.
Yeah, I describe myself as a family guy. It's probably why I got into this industry is, I love that this is an industry where we truly have an ability to live life on our terms. We truly have an ability to be with our family when we want to be with our family. We don't have to rely on our 2 weeks of vacation or whatever it might be that I hear about all the time. And so I actually found this industry when I was 20 years old. So it was actually a week before I turned 20. I heard an ad on the radio about working from home, and I responded to it. So I'm really fortunate. I've been able to kind of have my entire working career being able to work around my family, do what I want when I want, travel when I want. And to me, those are things that I really, really value. So, that would be my quick answer to that question.
Wow. So you truly you were born an entrepreneur then, in all reality, if you did not probably go to college or a university.
Yeah. Well, essentially when I got started, I was going to school part-time, or I was going to school full-time. I was getting a business degree from a local university. And I was actually had a part-time job at a local bank, and I was hearing this ad on the radio that was talking about working from home, having flexibility and that sort of thing. And I was like, hey, that attracted me, that whole concept, because I saw so many people. I'd only been working at the bank for 3 months, but I saw that everybody around me felt like they were overworked, underpaid, and underappreciated. And I asked myself, do I really want to end up where they are in 10 or 20 years? And the answer for me was a resounding no. And I think that's why I kind of looked into this industry and chose to get started with it. And I am definitely grateful that I did.
That is really amazing to listen to your story about working in a bank and looking around and thinking, is this really where I want to be at? And knowing that there was something better out there. There would be a lot of people, I shouldn't say a lot, but there would be some people that would claw their way to the top and be very selfish and be very competitive in that position. And you were like, yeah, that wasn't you. You'd rather be out on online marketing and making a living doing what you want to do and having that time freedom. Coming from a corporate background, that's a miracle, if you ask me.
I think when you look and you see how miserable people are, right, you really just decide that, you at some point in your life, you have to make a choice, right? You have to make a decision. It's like a conscious decision. You have to decide, do I want what they have or do I want something else, right? And so for me, I just feel grateful that it was early on in my life that I got to make a choice, that it wasn't after 10 or 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 years of corporate America, but it was early on. It took me 3 months of corporate America to realize that wasn't what I wanted. So
I love it. I love it. So with that in mind, that you just jumped into, online marketing, you have quite a history, and I don't know all your history, but, and not that I'm going to ask you that here, but I want to know, because I asked about Cory, like, who is Cory? And you said you're very much a family man and wanting to do, things with the family and having that time and freedom and financial freedom. Describe to me, because we're both in Lifestyle Design International. You're one of the top or the top producer in the company. And I want to know, tell me what the Cory was when you first started in online marketing after you quit your banking job to the Cory I see sitting in the car right now and talking to me face to face, being real and authentic. Share with me the differences in those two Corys.
Well, you know, I think when you're young, right, and you're first kind of getting a start in anything, you're kind of willing within ethics in mind, of course, right? But you're
Mm-hmm.
kind of willing to do whatever it takes to make whatever it is that you are doing work, right? So as long as you're within the ethical, right, is this right or is this wrong? You're in that mindset that you're willing to do whatever it takes to make XYZ work. And that's where I was when I first got started online. It was my original introduction to this industry, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm grateful for that because I think everybody has to start there. I think everybody has to start with that whatever it takes mentality in whatever it is that they're getting started with. But I
Mm-hmm.
think that as you gain experience and as you gain knowledge and as you gain as you kind of gain a lay of the land, I'll call it that, that you
Okay.
end up having the ability to really be picky about what you do in this industry, right? And that's what I found, and it's why I like what we're both doing right now, Lifestyle Design International, so much, Roxy, is because we really get to focus on the part of this industry that I love, right? So today, the Cory Reynolds of today loves the marketing side of this industry, loves just being able to focus on one thing, and that's to learn how to drive traffic, to drive massive amounts of traffic in the most simple way possible. Whereas the Cory Reynolds of back of say 2002 or whatever it was
Mm-hmm.
doing everything, right? And that's how it used to be when I first got started online. Was you felt like you had to be an expert at everything. You had to learn how to do everything. And what I love about what I know today is that no, you can really, if you find the right opportunity, if you find the right vehicle, you can really focus on just doing one thing really, really well and becoming an expert at one thing. And if you become an expert at that one thing, you can get massive results. So Cory Reynolds is definitely not good at everything. I'm definitely not good at everything. I definitely don't do everything, but I focus on that one thing that produces results. And that's what I love about what we can do in Lifestyle Design International is we can actually do that. So hopefully that's a good answer to your question.
Oh, absolutely. Any answer you give, Cory, with the experience that you've had, I welcome. It's amazing. I'm just curious now, like, we talked about the Cory Reynolds from 2002 to the Cory Reynolds and as of 2018. That we've got quite a few new marketing people into our company that we're affiliates of. And what would be like 2 or 3 pieces of advice that you would give these new entrepreneurs and in affiliate marketing or even on the online marketing space? And it could range from you know young people of age 18, 19 that do not want to go into formal education, all the way up to those that are retired, the whole gamut. What would you be your best advice to them?
Mm. The first thing that comes to mind when you ask that question is to start off by being narrow. So what I mean by that is to be focused, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I use that word focused is because there's so much noise out there in this industry. There's so much opportunity in this industry that if you're not careful, you can find that all of a sudden you're trying to do 5 or 10 different things at the same time. And when you try to do 5 or 10 things at the same time, you're probably not
Mm-hmm.
going to be successful at any of them, right? Whereas
Mm-hmm.
if you just key in on what you're being taught, in this instance, Lifestyle Design International, right? If you just key in on
Mm-hmm.
what you're being taught here and you produce success here, then you can translate that into other areas, but get success in a specific spot first and then use that success to expand yourself out into other and various different entrepreneurial areas. But I can tell you, if my personal opinion is that if you try to do say 10 different things at the same time, you're probably going to fail at all 10 of them. Whereas if you key in on what Jeff and Andrew are teaching you here in Lifestyle Design International, you get good at it, you get proficient at it, you become an expert at that one area of marketing. Well, then you can use that skill in so many different areas down the road. So that would be the first thing. The first thing I'd say. The second thing is that every successful person I know simply has one key thing in common, and that's that they finish what they start, right? There's
Ooh.
so many people out there. I see it over and over and over and over again they start something, but they don't finish it. And I'm a real big believer. It's probably the thing I value the most is being someone that finishes everything that I start. If I start it, it's going to get done, right? So, once I say I'm going to do something, that word is kind of my bond, and I'm going to finish it. So that's the second thing I would say is finish what you start and be completely committed to finishing what you start, and you will be a heck of a lot more successful than if you don't. So those are kind of the two things that come to mind off the top of my head, Roxy.
I love that you say that about your word, because that our word creates who we are and where we're going in life. And if you put your word out there and say you're going to complete something and then you don't, that's the way your life is always going to be. And your word is not, doesn't hold integrity, right? It doesn't hold integrity. So I'm really happy that you said that about the word and speaking the word and finishing it and sticking to it. That's a huge part. Huge part.
And I think too, people respect people that finish what they start, right? And really, you should desire to be a person that's respected, right? And that other people actually want to follow, right? And if you become known as someone that doesn't finish what you start, well, I don't think a lot of people will value what you have to say or will value, who you are, in my personal opinion. So that's kind of my perspective anyway.
That is so true. That's gold nuggets there that can be mined forever, right? So, I want to approach, and I'm not sure how I'm going to word this other than I'm just going to blurt it out like I normally do. Is we're in a pretty phenomenal company right now. Okay, yeah. I mean, and it's almost like it's every online marketer's dream. Like people dream about this and they search. And I think that's why you were talking about earlier how people will jump from one thing to another because they're searching for that dream. And you and I have it in this company. We have that dream. So I want to know from Cory Reynolds' point of view, this dream of a company that we're in, this affiliate marketing program, what are the top 3 advantages for being in this program, and why is it a dream company? I put that into you, as a dream company. I shouldn't assume, but I believe you believe it's a dream company too, from knowing you and what you said. But tell me more about that. Give me 3 things why this particular company is so different from every other company, and why we're on a tidal wave to change the outlook and the mechanics of online marketing with this company, and they're making tidal waves. So I'm going to turn it over to you before I. Yeah.
No, totally. I would say this: I am very grateful to be here, and I think that success always starts with being grateful. And when you realize how true that is, it kind of changes every aspect of your life. As soon as you lose that gratefulness, I can tell you that great things aren't attracted to you. I think the first answer to that question would stem from kind of how I started this entire interview when you and I started talking, which is that, when I first got started online, I had to do everything, right? And that's the truth, is that in most opportunities out there, a lot of you have maybe been in a lot of different network marketing companies or whatever it might be, and you feel like you have to do everything, or you feel like you're peddling some $10 product that may or may not work, and it can become very, very discouraging. And so I can remember my days of being on the phone 12 hours a day, just following up with every single lead that was produced in my business, right? And that can get very, very overwhelming. And so what I would say first, and I don't know, Roxy, can you still hear me here?
I can hear you.
Okay, awesome. And so what I would say first here is really simply that what I love about Lifestyle Designer International is we have a professional team of coaches that calls every single lead that we produce. So the 12 hours a day that I used to spend on the phone is now no longer being done by me. And that's what I call massive, powerful leverage. Because when everything is reliant on you, at the end of the day, you cannot achieve near as much. But when You simply are looking after producing, driving the traffic, doing the marketing, and then letting the professional coaches take care of everything else, making all the sales on your behalf so that you're not stuck on the phone for 8, 12 hours a day. That is incredibly powerful. So for me, Roxy, I would tell you that what I just said counts as 3 things. It's that big to me. It is that powerful to me. And so I'd say that's the number one thing that counts as 3 things, okay? But I will add a couple more things just to throw them out there on top of that. The second thing I'd say that's really powerful and really huge about Lifestyle Design International is the community. And to me, community is a very important and very powerful word. It means a lot because at the end of the day, business without relationships is just business, right? And to me, what I love about what we do here at LDI and what's been so important to me over my history and in my time online is that we are about relationship, we are about friendships, and we are about partnering together to achieve great lives together. And I can tell you that when I go to our events and when I'm spending time with the different members of this community, we don't just feel like we're partners. We don't just feel like we're in the same business, but we feel like we are friends on the same journey, achieving amazing things together. And that is really, really special because I can tell you one of the most common things I've heard online is that people feel alone. They feel like they're on their own. They feel like they need to figure everything out by themselves. We've got something special here in this community, which makes it nothing at all like that. So that's the second thing. That I would say very, very briefly. And then the third thing, because I'm going to add a third thing as well, just for kicks, even though I think the first thing was so huge that it was kind of out there on its own. But then the third thing is that in this community, while we are learning, okay, because we teach you, we've got a great, great course, Traffic Academy, that teaches people how to drive traffic. So we teach people how to drive traffic on their own. But the third thing that I love about Lifestyle Design International that I think is really important is they actually want to take you through the learning curve. So they actually want to put you in a position where you can actually make money while you're learning. And so we have a great program in place that allows people to take part in what we like to call the done for you part of our advertising, so that while you're learning, while you're building your own relationships, while you're building your own contacts, you can actually begin to see results in month number 1, right? Whereas most people, realistically, they're waiting till month 6, 7, 8, 9 when they're trying to learn how to drive traffic on their own before they start to see any results whatsoever. So I think it's beautiful that we've put together our system in a manner that allows people to get results right from the get-go. So those are my 3 things, with the first thing being the very, very biggest thing. Because let me tell you, to not have to be on the phone 12 hours a day is my dream. And so when you said this is a dream business, that is that is the very number one reason that this is the dream business for me. And there's a difference, right? Because you could have a call center in the Philippines, right? That was calling your leads and calling and reaching out to the people you'd marketed to. We don't have a call center in the Philippines. We have a call center in Utah, right? We have a call center in the United States of America that is a professional call center. And there is a massive, massive difference. So hopefully that answers your question, Roxy.
Wow, you just blew me past the stars in the galaxy. I'm ready to buy right back in right now.
I know, I'd buy back in every day.
I do too. Yeah, I'm like, okay. Oh my gosh. And I love how you say that, like the done for you system and the call center. And I remember doing 3-way calls for 8 hours a day and calling and staying on the phone. And, I did not even want to see my cell phone after I got done with that. Didn't even want to be a part of that. And then the community, Cory, I've been a part of a couple of network marketing companies, and never, ever, ever have I ever felt the community that we have with Lifestyle Design International. And you talk about brothers and sisters and best friends and family, and it's just, I know that I can call up anyone that I've met and built a relationship with, and even new people, and just say, hey, and I've done it. I've called up, precious friends and said, man, I'm really struggling with this. What, how can you talk me through it? Or, what can I do to make it better? And they are always there, and they're never judging, ever. They see me for where I'm at, and they just pull me forward. And I mean, that's huge. I mean, it's just, the community is phenomenal. And then what was the third thing you talked about? Remind me.
The third thing was the done for you component of the advertising that allows you to earn while you're learning, while you're mastering things in the traffic course. But I think, Roxy, I have to add a fourth thing after hearing what you just said. I hope you're okay with that.
Absolutely.
The fourth thing is that this is not network marketing, right? That's the fourth thing that makes Lifestyle Design International so amazing, right? Is you don't need a team of 10,000 people that you babysit to be successful. So that is the fourth thing that I would say that makes this an absolute dream business. So hopefully you don't mind me adding that.
They just do it for you, really. I mean, they've got, like you said, there's systems in place that are so complete that all you have to do is have that initiative to dive into a training, because they don't hide 1 ounce. They don't hide anything. And it's all right there. And then you just jump in and do it and be committed to learning the skills, and, you know, you can create whatever you want to create in all reality. Wow, Cory, that was so powerful. Holy cow. We could end it right there, but I love picking your, well, I shouldn't say picking your brain. I like digging into who Cory Reynolds is and get to know him a lot more. So I want to know, are you an adventurous person? I'm going to lighten it up a little bit. Are you an adventurous person at all?
Am I an adventurous person? That's a good question. I would say I've had times in my life where I'm more adventurous and times in my life where I'm not adventurous. Do I love adventure? Yes, I love adventure. I've been bungee jumping.
Sweet.
I'd like to jump out of a plane one day. You seem like the kind of person I could probably do that with, right?
I might have to draw the line. I'll be down at the bottom videotaping you, but that might be a little stretching for me.
Yeah. I'd say, I love adventure. I'd say that I was maybe more adventurous in my youth than I am today, and it's something I'd like to pick up in this next phase of life. But yeah, It's a good question. That's how I'll answer it.
Okay, so let's continue on with the adventurous question just a little bit. If you were dropped onto a desert island, what are 3 things that you would bring with you?
The real answer or the right answer?
The real answer, the authentic Cory real answer.
Well, the first thing I bring is a gun. Right?
Yeah.
Right? I figure I could do some damage with a gun, and I'm hoping there's some animals on the desert island. Right?
Sweet.
Second thing after the gun, because I need to survive, is some good literature, even though I hate reading. Right? Would I have Wi-Fi or not have Wi-Fi? I wouldn't have Wi-Fi, so I have to say books, right? I'll choose books. If I was in, if I was in North America, I'd be saying, man, I want audiobooks instead of the books that I have to open up and actually read, because I far prefer putting the good stuff in via the audiobooks than I do the actual books that you open up. But anyway, that's the second thing, is I'd bring literature that would keep my mind strong in case I was stuck there for 2, 3, 4 years and I had to find a way to keep my mind the way it needed to be if I was going to make it through. So the second thing I'd say is that kind of literature that's personal development, growth orientated, mindset orientated. Those are the first 2 things that come to mind. Hopefully you don't mind that I said gun first.
Not at all.
And then you said deserted island, does that mean I have to be by myself?
Well, no, you don't have to be by yourself.
The third thing I'd bring is a few people with me, so I had a bit of community to survive the time together. So that's my answer.
Yeah, and I got to come back on that audiobook. Since you have audiobooks with you on the desert island, you just read out loud to yourself and you have audiobook, right?
Nice. Okay.
And speaking of books, let's say that you're writing a book about yourself, okay? And in your personal life and your business, what would what would you name that book?
What would I name that book if I'm writing a book about myself? Something like You Don't Have to Do It All Yourself. All right, something along those lines. something I'd probably have to take some time to think about that title, but that would be kind of my overall message of my life. Is there's a great line in Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and I don't remember exactly, how it's said in the book, but somebody's hassling Henry Ford about, about does he know how to do something? He says, no, I don't know how to do it, but at the push of this button, I can find somebody who can tell me how to do it, right?
Yeah.
And for me, that's kind of been one of the overarching kind of theories, or kind of I've tried to like even build this whole online kind of business around, is realizing that you don't have to be an expert at everything. You simply have to know someone or have relationships with the right people that can always get you the answers that you need when you need them, right?
Yeah.
And so it would be something built around that, because I kind of like that to be one of the mottos of my life. So hopefully that answers the question. Yeah.
I'm going to look forward to that book, because I have this vision that you're going to write that book, and it's going to be your signature product. Yeah, I'm betting it comes real.
Nice. Well, you definitely have the ability to speak life, so I'll receive that.
Awesome. Awesome. I love it. So what, the viewers, I'm going to be putting this on my business page and out there. So how can people get a hold of you if they want to contact you? Do you have a website? Do you have a Facebook page that we can put up and they can go check you out and get some more wisdom from you?
Yeah, probably my Facebook page is the best. I don't want to put a website on this webinar because I wouldn't want to compete with you. I'd say go to meetroxy.com or whatever. You should say, I don't know exactly what website you use, but all my websites always drive to what I'm doing and really have something to do right now with Lifestyle Design International, because I think it's such an amazing opportunity. It is my number one focus of everything that I do in the online world space and the investing space. It is the focus of kind of it's kind of the center of everything I would do. I'd say that is Lifestyle Design International. So I would push people back to Roxy, but definitely I would say that Facebook is where I am most responsive to anybody who wants to reach out to me.
Well, Cory, you are a true professional. Thank you for that. Yeah, that means a lot to me. So in parting words, is there one last thought that's been kind of hanging out in the frontal part of your brain that, you want to share with us? Is there anything that you're like, gosh, I wish you would ask me this, or this is something that's been on my mind? And would you want to share? Is there something there that you'd want to share?
Well, I just say that, the thing that comes to my mind first when you say that is, I always just see people, they always wait. They want to know everything before they take action in their life. And, maybe some of you on Roxy's page, wherever she posts these sorts of videos, whether it's YouTube or whether it's someone else, maybe some of you guys have been following her a long time, right? But you haven't actually taken that step out and actually taken that action to go ahead and get started on that journey of changing your life. And I can tell you that Roxy has the tool here with Lifestyle Designer International that truly can change your life. It's changed mine. I'm so grateful that I'm here for all the reasons that I already stated. And so if for some reason you have been stalling and you just haven't made that decision, I can tell you that success always results with a decision. And most people just don't make decisions, and that's why they're not successful. At some point, you just got to decide to make a decision, because some decision is always better than no decision. I'm one of those people that I don't worry about whether I'm making the best decision. I worry about whether I'm making a decision, because a decision is always better than no decision at all. So I would probably leave you with that.
Wow, that is powerful gold stuff there. That's awesome. Wow. Yeah. I love talking to Cory. I'm just so grateful that, I have access to you, and so many other people have access to you. And I know in this last year of being in this company, in the first year in this company, you have spoken so much life into me. And I do these little cry fits. I don't know what the heck this is all about. But anyway, thank you so much. I really appreciate you.
Awesome. Well, the feeling is mutual, because I think you and we tend to have the personalities that we respect people that speak life into those people around them. and you definitely have that skill as well. And there's, to me, nothing more powerful than being someone that's always speaking life and encouragement in the people that are around them.
Oh, thank you. All right. I appreciate that. I received that from you. Thank you. And that acknowledgement.
Well, me too. I
All
received
right.
that as well, because it is a great skill to be able to say, I received that. So I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so cool.
Awesome.
Well, thank you once again. And guys, this is Roxy with Meet Roxy Jordat with the famous Cory Reynolds. I know he's just a rock star on internet marketing, and in the company that we're in right now, also with Lifestyle Design International, and just a true leader and somebody that pulls people forward and really speaks life into them. And yet I have to say on Cory that he's just very real, and he protects his time and he protects his family. And he has taught me that, even though he doesn't know that, he's taught me that. And so that's the sign of a real leader, to protect their time. And so with that, I am still so privileged that you came on this interview with me today, because there's other things that you could be doing. And so, thank you so much.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Roxy.
All right. Thank you.
Yes.